Ceasefire showed further strain on Friday, a day before negotiations in Pakistan to end the war. There was no sign of Tehran lifting its near-total blockade of the Strait of Hormuz, which has caused the worst-ever disruption to global energy supplies. US President Donald Trump accused it of doing, quote, a very poor job of allowing oil to go through. In a separate post, he said oil would start flowing again, without saying what actions the US might take. Iran says ongoing Israeli strikes on Lebanon violate the truce and are a major sticking point. Israel's bombardment of heavily populated areas on Wednesday was the worst of the war, killing more than 300 people. Lebanese officials described the strikes as a massacre. In Pakistan, which mediated the truce, authorities were preparing for the first round of US-Iran talks on Saturday. They aim to settle the conflict that began with US and Israeli attacks on Iran on February 28th. The ceasefire agreement was reached just hours before a deadline Trump said would trigger the destruction of a whole civilization. The US and Israel have said the deal does not include Lebanon, which Israel invaded last month to root out Hezbollah. But Iran and Pakistan say Lebanon was explicitly part of the agreement. Iran's parliament speaker, Mohammad Baqir Qalibaf, said on social media that Lebanon and the rest of Iran's axis of regional allies were inseparable parts of any ceasefire. He's expected to head the Iranian delegation opposite US Vice President J.D. Vance. On Wednesday, Iran released a 10-point proposal for a settlement. That included maintaining control of the Strait of Hormuz, acceptance of Iran's right to nuclear enrichment, and lifting of sanctions, as well as ending the war, including against Hezbollah. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said on Thursday he'd given instructions to start peace talks as soon as possible. He said they'd include disarming Hezbollah, and that Israeli attacks on the Iran-backed group would meanwhile continue.